I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. I married a Childers. I'm going to put the last, well, just a portion of the last two letters I had from Jack Hartsfield. He was a reporter FBI agent that helped save my life in Atlanta, Atlanta too, I guess, but in Huntsville, Alabama. That's the Space Center, and started out there. I was kidnapped in 41 at age 2 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers. Now then, the birth dates were changed because it didn't jive with the date they'd given me. First of all, that's illegal to mark through it and insert another date on a birth certificate. But they were born a year earlier. But anyway, what I wanted to get to was they stole my identity. I found out in '83 after a political campaign, ran for U.S. Congress to replace U.S. Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald. And by the way, the plane went down. It veered into Russian airspace. And that's part of what I was writing about, mind control. I'd worked for a doctors, and I'd found out about mind control. I knew murders were being done in patterns for a long time. I didn't know the mechanism used. I found out. I was writing the book. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and the person that shot him was programmed to shoot Mr. Flint and his attorney and kill him. And I started finding out about my real name. My father's Edward VIII, who never married this woman, American spy Wallace Simpson. She married a double. My father married, I don't have a photo of my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, baby sister in the family, baby child in the family. Sister is George O'Keefe, the artist. And you talk about Cain and Abel. This is the one that the movie was made about, and they made him out to be a nice man. He's a horrible man, and so is Elizabeth and her whole brood of thieves. They should be convicted of treason, everything in the book. But I've put this up on videos, and I understand that some of my videos are labeled can't be viewed because I told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth on them, so help me God. This was in the magazine. This is in '39, and this is my uncle, the illegal George VI, who helped take down my father illegally. Of course, he knew my mother and father were married, and the whole thing was a lie. So did Churchill, all of them. But the Americans, here we go, it's the Illuminati, the New World Order, Freemasons, the global government that's in power now. Helped kidnap me, take down my father, and this man, Roosevelt, appointed Joe Kennedy ambassador to England, 36, till they kicked him out in 46. His son, JFK, there you get into the Warren Commission cover-up and why. But they flew in to the embassy there in England and I guess took up residency is the way it sounded, even spoke before Parliament. This is in the time period when I was kidnapped in 41. So how did I get across the pond? I assumed Moulton, Alabama was about 20 miles from Cortland, where the Army base had just been built. And the Kennedys flew. Now, I'm not saying they were the ones that delivered me, but they certainly helped kidnap me. That whole bunch did. And by the way, Elizabeth, and of course they know about my kidnapping. They've signed illegal treaties. They live off with my money. They are part of the secret, well, it's not so secret anymore, organization that controls your world. They control your United Nations and all of it. But so that I don't get distracted, I wanted to put, and well, so I can get it up on this video. You talk about Cain and Abel. This uncle that pretends to be good was a sorry sot in that whole a bunch of Windsors that so-called royal family. They're nothing but a bunch of thieves. My father was the legal heir, a beautiful man, and so was my mother, me, and my sons Mark and Scott, wherever they are. I hope they're alive. But I was doing a book before I found out about my kidnapping, about mind control and patterns, and I think I may have said this. Larry Flint was shot, and the person programmed to shoot him. He flew me out there during the campaign in '83, and did this article in April of '84. Now then, James Holmes, I'm showing that one because he's being treated or tortured for mental illness. He is not mentally ill, it's mind control, and all the doctors and psychiatrists have to know the truth. Not one has spoken out. Next door to me, the Virginia Tech shootings, April of 16th of '07, that was one of them. So there's a list of them, the ones that are being done now, trying to take the guns away. Jack Hartsfield helped save my life. He was a reporter and FBI agent in Huntsville in '80 when I was taken there and antifreeze put in me and should have died. I worked for the district attorney, and then the mental health system was used all along to try to take me out. I didn't know about my kidnapping and real name till late '83. I want to read the last part because Susan Boda, I knew. Jack introduced me. She had been a professor of sociology, University of Alabama, Huntsville. Now then, Jack's talking about her here, and I didn't realize this was in here. This is a letter to Salvador Vizzini, who was FBI agent sent in 1980 to help save my life. He became police chief in Huntsville. Now, this was a letter deliberately sent me by Jack Hartsfield. And as far as I know, he's closely related to Hank Hartsfield, the astronaut. But anyway, he used to go and see Mr. Flint. I've never seen him again, Mr. Flint. But the mind control murder of Amy Bishop, she was professor at the same university in Huntsville that Susan was, a teacher. She went in suddenly one day, and I had the date down, but it's in 2010, I believe. She went in and shot and killed 3 of her fellow professors and injured 3 more. And then it connected back to her brother who died up in Boston, and her mother was in the police department, I believe, there. But anyway, she was programmed. Her attorney was Attorney Miller. I did speak with him, and he said that he had worked with me briefly at the district attorney's office in '80. He had to plead her out as insane, and that's what's going on here. They're not insane. They're victims themselves of mind control. Now, I said Cain and Abel. This is the last letters I've got from Jack, and it's going off here, so I can't get this one on. I did want to read the last part. John Weiner had the right idea about it. Apparently it hasn't as yet applied to my efforts. Richard Clark, one-time national security chief under 2 presidents, has a new book entitled Your Government Failed You. The simplest forms of terms, maybe that's what happened to me. I believe in my country, then in my government believes in me. I've never been a particularly religious man, not a Bible thumper or one to roar through the church door at every opportunity, but there has been a reason why I've remained motivated to seek the sunlight for all these years. Every man has to believe he has a purpose in life, that he contributed something, that while he may have stumbled, he got up and kept trying, that he made a difference. However humble, however small, one marches to the beat of the drum he hears. God only knows why. Take care. Jack.